Let's take a look at politics this week, where the ABC has come under fire from a lone Liberal, Senator Alex Antic, who has called out the ABC and the Australian-born international drag queen celebrity Courtney Actfor grooming children by airing a Play School special episode where Courtney, a drag queen, reads a children's book about a girl who wears pants. Now, we'll listen to part of the audio from the Senate hearing soon, but to set it up, as we call it here in the biz, you won't often hear me agree or side with Senator Hanson-Young, Green Senator Sarah Hanson-Young. But in this case, I do. That was hard to say. But you see, this is conservative politics stirring the pot, trying to pick something topical to make headlines out of having a stab at the ABC. And I'm calling him, Liberal Senator Alex Antic, out for his behaviour. Liberal Senator Alex Antic from South Australia asked ABC Managing Director David Anderson why the well-known drag queen read the book on the children's program, suggesting that the ABC was grooming children with this sort of adult content. I'll say that in inverted commas because that's a quote from him. Let's take a listen to the question by the Liberal Senator, Alex Antic, to the ABC Managing Director, David Anderson, at a Senate hearing.
So I've got a couple of questions about some programming matters. And at the moment, the ABC is airing a program called Courtney Act, The Spectacular Suit, in which a male drag performer, Shane Jenek, reads a children's book called The Spectacular Suit, this is it here, about a female child wanting to wear male clothing. The program was rated G, and it's been heavily promoted on TV and on the app. My question is this: why is the ABC grooming Australian children with this sort of adult content?
Grooming? Really? That's your choice of wording? Now, according to the dictionary, grooming is the action of a pedophile of preparing a child for a meeting, especially via the internet, from a chat room, with the intention of committing a sexual offence. And that's what the word he's aligning to a drag queen reading a story to children on the ABC. Now, it was at this point during the hearing that the Green Senator, Sarah Hanson-Young, interjected.
So, grooming is a really serious matter. It's not for being played with by conservative senators so that they can make headlines.
That's what grooming looks like.
Senator, my answer is we are not grooming
sexual
Australian
assault
children.
survivors right around
Chair,
this country
I can't hear the answer because Senator Hanson-Young is interjecting. Every other occasion, senators have been reined in.
Senator Hanson-Young.
This is where I agree with Senator Hanson-Young. Not for the interjecting or raising her voice, that's rude. But for calling out the use of the word grooming, Senator Antic did not choose his wording nor his battle correctly. Now, if you haven't seen the Play School drag story time video, it's up on the ABC, and to be honest, I think it's been done tastefully. You know, I will say that there have been some incidences and examples of drag story time around the globe and drag shows intended for children that has been inappropriate and is very questionable. And I say that as a gay man. And these incidences deserve to be called out. But what the ABC did and Courtney Act did was not one of them. Not all are the same, and this is where the ABC Managing Director David Anderson answered Senator Antic's question, ending his bizarre line of questioning.
I was simply refuting the fact that we're grooming Australian children because we are not grooming Australian children. What we are doing is, that is about dressing up. I think
dressing up, a cross-dressing up. Well, let me ask you this: does the ABC agree that transgenderism and cross-dressing are adult concepts?
Senator, there are sure. So
yes,
when it comes to transgender, yes, you can say that there are people who wish to identify as a sex other than what they were born with, and I think that's okay. But that's not. I don't accept what you're saying about somebody who is trans grooming Australian children. That's not. That whole story time was about dressing up.
Dressing up in the opposite sex clothing.
Which I believe...
I'm not asking the question of you, Chair. I'm asking the question of Mr Anderson.
Well, Well, I think there's...
People have been doing this for decades.
I think children do dress up, Senator, and I think that a story about dressing up, I think, is acceptable.
Do you think this sort of content is contributing to the gender dysphoria problem in this country?
One, I don't see a gender dysphoria problem. What I see is a very set of complex issues that exist within Australian society. So I don't think that anything I don't think we're generating anything. I think, if anything, the ABC reflects what is happening in the Australian community at the time. And for that,
what percentage of Australian children are getting read to by people dressed like this, men dressed like this?
So I think Senator, I'm not going to give you... I don't have the audience data right now with regard to that, but what we have is a story about dressing up and about kids dressing up.
Dressing up. Okay. All right.
Look, the Liberal senator is just barking up the wrong tree or dress or pair of pants here in order to make a name for himself and get his name in the media, which he has succeeded, but for the wrong reason. Look, I find it gross that he accused the ABC of grooming when there are actual issues and incidences of grooming out there that his time would be better directed towards, rather than having a cheap and easy dig at the ABC.
The Troy Murphy Show.